With our database created, we can now create the registration form. This is a preview of the registration form. The page is titled register.php, and the form has 4 text inputs: a first name, last name, email address, and password. Once this form is completed, some validation is conducted on the form, and we'll be using AJAX and PHP for that. When the register button is clicked, the data is inserted into our database. The user can then use the login form to log into his or her account and access the blog. Okay, and so that's what we'll be doing here. We'll be using the contact.php page as a template for the registration page, since it already has a form. So this is the contact page, contact.php, and we'll need to make some changes. We don't need this entire section with the map and the contact information. So all we need is this section here, the contact form, and we'll have to make some changes to it. So we'll go ahead and get started. Open contact.php in your text editor and save this file as register.php. So just go to File, Save As, and type in register.php. Now we need to make some basic edits to this page. So on line 12, just change the title. Same thing on line 35. Remove the entire navigation code block and replace it with the PHP require statement. I'm just going to load this page by typing in register.php into the web browser so we can preview it as we move along. So you can see that the title is changed and the navigation is there. It's loaded from the external file. We'll need to now remove this entire section here, all of this. So it appears that the code for this entire section starts on line 43, and so I'm just going to remove that entire row from line 43 to line 70. Okay, so we're left with just the contact form content area. We don't need this text here, so I'm going to delete that. Okay, we're going to have to change this text, contact form, to registration form. And we'll just update the copyright text as well. Okay, so I've scrolled up to the form code block, and for me that starts on line 50. So there's a couple of things we need to do here. First of all, we need to change the labels to first name, last name, email address, and password. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so first name, last name, email address, and password. The password is not a text area. We need to change it to an input. So I'm going to delete the text area. And I'm going to copy one of these inputs and just paste it over here. Okay, so our text inputs are in. Our labels are correct. Now we need to add some attributes to our form elements. We need to add an ID and a name attribute to each element. This is so that we can use AJAX and PHP to process the form. You'll see this in action later on. So this is what you need to add in. So the first input, ID, fname, the name attribute, set it to fname as well, and give it a max length attribute of 25. Now for the last name element, change the type from email to text and insert this code, ID lname, name lname, max length 25. The email address, change the type to email and then insert this code. ID set to email, name set to email, and max length set to 25. For password, change the type to password. ID set it to password, name to password, and max length to 10. Now delete this hidden input. This just comes with the template. We don't need it, so just delete this entire input. For the button, the type is submit, which is what we need. Leave the class as it is. Just insert this ID. Set the ID to register. And again, you'll see why we're using these ID attributes when we get into working with the AJAX part of this form. Okay, so that completes the form. I'll just refresh the page. And it looks good.